All right, so we'll get started with our asana practice. Why don't we take a seat on the mat? If you would also keep your props close by, that will be helpful for you. So we'll sit cross-legged in Sukhasana. Sukha means easy, so easy cross-legged pose. We've just done our flow chart, so we have where we are, where we're going, and how we're going to get there. Setting intentions for our practice. Bringing your feet forward slightly. And just bringing your fingertips in front of you. So you can do this forward bend, right foot in front of left. Just easing into it because your body might be stiff after sitting in meditation for a while. Or just because it's morning. You don't have to go super deep. A couple deep breaths in your back. And I'm inhaling, coming up. Let's do a twist gently. So bring your right hand behind you, left hand over your knee. Inhale, grow tall, and exhale, gently twist. You can use your left arm in particular to help bring you into that twist. So how we incorporate our I am or affirmations for the practice is during this first part, I want you to focus on the bridge. So to use me as an example, I started with worry and I'm heading towards peaceful. So the word I found in the middle is flow. So I'm going to focus on I am flowing. So when I do my pose here, I want to flow into it. I want to go very slowly into it, flowing gently into the twist. And then when I'm coming out, I'm going to flow gently out of it. If you have a different bridge, you're going to approach the posture a little bit differently with that intention. So then we'll go, we won't twist the other side. What we'll do is we'll place the left hand on the ground. We'll take the right arm overhead, nice and tall. Keep both sitting bones on the ground. And we're going to side stretch. Hold it for a moment. Breathe into that right side. Now notice the left shoulder is not up to my ear. I'm going to bend my elbows so it comes to support my ribs here. I'm going to release the pressure here from the shoulder. Then inhale and come up. I'm going to use my left hand to help me come up. Exhale. And then over the left knee, a little quarter forward bend. And then circle sweep up. And we'll do one more. Inhale, let's stretch both arms up. And release. Lean back. Just going to do a little hello abdominal navasana. This is just a baby navasana. It's a dinghy, not a boat. And then cross your feet the other way with the left in front. Growing tall, and exhale, folding forward. Walk your fingertips out. I like to keep the fingertips on the ground as opposed to dropping down because that tends to make my back round. It'll probably make your back round as well. Inhaling, slowly coming up, and we'll twist. So left hand behind us, right hand over the knee. Inhale, grow tall, both sitting bones grounded, and twist. So just remember to allow yourself to go into the posture one breath at a time. And then slowly coming out, place your right hand on the ground. Let your elbow bend, release the shoulder. So move the shoulder away. So you're kind of pushing a little bit with this hand. Other arm, left arm comes over, both sitting bones grounded. Breathe into the left side. Bring your awareness to your bridge I am, how you're going to get there. And then inhaling, push yourself up with your right hand. Exhaling. Now fold over the that right knee, sorry. Stretch a little bit beyond. And then circle sweep coming up. Exhaling. And last one. And release the shoulders. And let's do mini Navasana again. Wake up the core. All right, cross your feet at ankles. And let's come into Virasana. So you can tuck your toes under and see if you can sit on your heels. So this is likely going to be pretty uncomfortable. Pull your pinky toes forward so they don't get jammed up. So you're sitting on your heels. You're growing tall. This might be uncomfortable. It's okay. Just bear with me for a moment. You can massage the arches of the feet. This is another way to release the connective tissue in the back of the legs and the feet. If it's super uncomfortable, you can come off your feet and set yourself up on blocks for Virasana. If you think you can gently suffer through this, then stay here. And we're going to inhale, stretch the wrists. So this is part of the upper body Pawan Muktasan that we didn't get to complete in our last practice. So we're going to do it now. Shoulders relaxed. Notice that my hands are at the shoulder height or a little bit below, but not above. Shoulders relax. We'll do some circles. Let's do some circles upward and outward and the other direction, coming back to center. Inhale, exhale. Feel free to come off your toes at any point. You don't want to have pain, just stretching. Inhale, exhale, shoulders down. Sometimes they creep up. One more. And then big circles. The other way you can release your feet is to come up on your knees. So feel free to do that. Circles forward, circles backward. Shake out your hands, your arms, flash your hands, open, close, 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 shake, shake, shake. Place your hands just on your jaw and chew like a cow. You bite yod, that's good. Coming down onto all fours. So your knees are behind or just underneath your hips, hands beneath your shoulders. Turn your fingers out to the side. Support your wrists as needed. If you remember, I recommended for those of you who have really tight wrists, a folded belt underneath the heel of your hand. You could also bring your hands a little further out just for this posture, or you can come onto your elbows. So we'll do a little cat-cow sequence, softening between the shoulder blades, letting your hips go backwards and gently forming the back arch as you inhale. You can stretch your eyeballs up. Bend, tucking the chin under, tailbone under, round your back. Look towards your navel, so navel drishti. Then inhaling, arching your back, upward drishti. Stretch your eyeballs. Exhaling. Round a little bit more in your lower back than in the upper back. Arching your back, round a little bit more, or arch a little bit more in your upper back than in your lower back if you can. And then rounding the back. Come to neutral position. Now we'll go side to side. So look over your left shoulder, see if you can see your hip. Poke out the right side of the ribs. Then returning to center and do the other side. Center, side, center, side, center, side. Let's do like a hula hoop movement of the waist. So you'll start with a back arch and then you'll push the ribs over to the left, then round the rib, round upwards in the back, push the ribs over to the right, then arch your back. Like you're not really moving your hips or your shoulders. You're just doing this nice movement through. So moving up and around. Let's go the other direction now. Should feel quite nice. If it feels very awkward, that's okay. Let's use the I am here. So in my case, I am flowing. So I'm doing whatever causes flow, whatever creates flow in the body. Just changing up the approach a little bit. Then shake yourself out. Shake your head, bend your elbows, stretch back. Let's do widening child's pose. Let's stay here for a few breaths. So you don't have to rest your head on the ground. You can rest it on a block, or you don't have to rest it at all. Let's keep the arms active. You can also come down on your elbows if you'd like and push the hips back. Knees are wide, feet are together, big toes touching. And do a few deep breaths into your lower back, into your hips. Okay, good. I was just wanting to make sure that my sound was connected. So just stay in your child's pose, widening child's pose for a moment. Nice deep breaths in the back body. And then slowly come up, come back to table. We're gonna do a little shoulder opener that we haven't done. You're gonna turn your thumb up and make a long straight line in your arm. Stretch it out on the mat. So we're gonna do the right arm first. So stretch the right arm out and you're gonna pull back. You're gonna basically be stretching the outside of the arm. So my head is not on the ground. My elbow is slightly lifted and I'm pulling back with my hips. I'm not sitting down on the heels. I'm kind of doing like a strange, same action as downward dog. Stretching here, and especially in the outside of the armpit. And I'm going to come up and I'm going to do the other side. So stretch out through the pinky edge of that left arm, right? The wrist has to be stable. You're going to lift the elbow a little bit and pull back with the hips. And just use your right hand to prop you up on that right side. All right, coming back to center. Another one, coming onto your elbows, like so. You're going to tense your hands. So your fingertips are going to be like this. And you're going to walk out on your elbows. Elbows about shoulder width apart, not wider. You're going to want to take your elbows wider than your shoulders. Don't. And you're going to pull back. You can rest your head on the ground. You can even pull your thumbs towards the nape of your neck. Don't let the elbows slide out. They want to slide wider. And then slowly place the palm of the hands on the ground and come forward into Sphinx. So just adjust. You're in Sphinx now, stretching the abdomen. Now you want to lift the lower belly just a bit so you won't be over stretching or over compressing the back. And then slowly come down, slide your hands back, push through the hands, tuck your toes under. Let's do a little sequence to get into downward dog. So let's come into tabletop again. Inhale, arch your back for cow pose. Push down through round your back slightly, push down through the hands. Let's go into downward dog. A little sequence. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, lower your knees down. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, round and go into downward dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, knees down. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Lift the knees and stretch back. Again, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, and one more time on your own. Start to incorporate that ujjayi breath, the breath with sound. And let's walk out the legs in downward dog. Again, bend your toes, stretch out your feet. Give your head a little shake. And we'll walk the feet gently to the top of the mat. Hands on the shins, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Bend your knees, inhale, slowly roll up your back. You can keep your arms by your side. And then inhale. Once you're standing, you can take your arms up. And release. Open your feet out to the side, V-shaped position of the feet. And we'll just rotate side to side, windmill. Windmill and cat-cow, I just noticed, are not on the essential list. They're sort of so essential that they're not even on the list. Come back to your I am. And now move in alignment with that I am. And let's pivot on the back heel. You can close your eyes or half close your eyes. Shoulder circles, shake it up. Take your feet a little bit wider, same V position. Then come into goddess position. Also not in the list, but nice one anyway. So we've done this sequence before as another warm-up sequence, good for the legs. We're gonna inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, elbows down. Inhale. Exhale, cross your right arm in front of your left. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Cross your left arm in front of your right. Long back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Right arm in front of left. Big, deep breaths. Left arm in front. Inhale. A little quicker. When you come up, just make sure you're not locking your knees. This time, come down and pause. Transfer your weight into that right leg. Shift off and let's balance. Open up and then come down gracefully. I am flowing, or whatever your I am is. Other side. Balance, stretch, spread your toes. Nice, come down. Right side again, down. Left side, and down. Getting warmer. Sun salutations are going to be so easy after this. One more on each side. Inhale. 5-pointed stars. Take the arms parallel to the shoulders. Spread the fingers. Look up. Nice pose. Release. Walk your feet together. Shake out your legs. Whew, I'm already losing my breath. Pause for a moment. Come into your I am. Repeat the I am at the crown of the head and let it like spill over you. All right, feet parallel. Oh, my feet were not parallel in that moment. We're coming to the breath of joy. So we'll inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend the knees just a little bit. Open the arms. Inhale. I like to bend and extend. Second part, we fold forward. So you bend your knees, take your arms back, bow your head. Inhale, up. Exhale, out. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale. Let's have our eyes in half moon, so half closed, half open. I am. Go at your own pace. What's that? You want a greater challenge? Lift your heels when you stand up. One more. Bend your knees. Coming up, hold it. Stand tall. Stand tall, bring your arms down. Keep standing tall, just lower the heels. Turn to the top of your mat if you're not already there. Weight in your legs, evenly distributed. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Press down through the feet. Feet are parallel, right? Hip width apart. Inhaling, coming up. Half sun salutation. Inhale. Exhale. Shake out your head. Inhale, halfway. Exhale. Inhaling, coming up, draw in the lower belly. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hook your thumbs. Maybe you'll arch back just a little bit. Exhale, fold. Ujjayi, breath with sound. Lift Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Hold the bandhas as you step the left foot back. Lower the knee to the ground, point the toes straight back. Inhale, let's take the arms up. Exhale. Let's stretch the right hamstrings. Sit back. Flex this right foot. Pull back with the hip. Don't sit down. Pull back. I am. Jalandhara Bandha here. Important. Pull your leg back. Let's come into plank on the knees. Hold on the knees. Let's tuck the toes under, come into full plank. Let's do the Ashtanga, 8-point pose. Right now we have 4 points touching the ground, 2 hands, 2 feet. Lower the knees, that makes 6. Then you're gonna stick your bum out a little bit, your toes are tucked under. Lower your chest to the floor and then your chin. That makes 7 and 8. Then push with your toes, lift your knees, and slowly worm your way forward. Let's do Cobra. Exhale down. Cobra again. Opening up. Can you hold Uddiyana Bandha in this posture? Exhaling. Child's pose. Inhale, table. Tuck toes under. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, knees down. Lunge your left foot forward. Inhale. Firm foundation, foot pointing straight back. Lift the bandhas. Raise your arms. Look up, upward gaze. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, step forward. Lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press down through the feet. Come all the way up to standing. Hook your thumbs, arch back. Exhale. Other side, inhale. Hook your thumbs perhaps the other way. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Right foot steps back. Toe points straight back behind you. Create firm foundation. Front knee and ankle in alignment. Inhale. Exhale. Let's stretch the left hamstring. Pull back on the hip. I am. Focus on your I am more than anything else. Create the I am in the practice, in the pace, in the posture, in your facial expression. Slide that left foot back. Come into the plank. Ashtanga, 8-point pose. Slowly come forward, worming your way forward. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale. Work the Uddiyana Bandha in this posture to protect your lower back. One more. Exhaling, push back. Inhale. Tuck toes under, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out with sound. Inhale, lift heels. Exhale, knees down. And right foot steps forward. Stabilize the foundation, align your feet. This is feet parallel, just one foot is upside down. Inhale. Exhale. On your next exhalation, bring your hands down. Inhale, step forward, lift the heart. Jalandhara Bandha here. Exhale. Firming your legs, inhale, rising up. Exhale. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Surya Namaskar A. Bandhas. Feet aligned. Knees unlocked. Pelvis back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant your hands. Step right foot back, then left foot back, coming into plank. Lower from your knees. Let's all do from the knees. We're going into chaturanga from the knees. Bend your elbows to your capacity, wherever it feels hard. Hold it. Couple breaths. I am. Don't let your bum stick out. And then push up. Upward dog. If you'd rather do cobra, that's okay. Uddiyana Bandha here. Let's stay on the knees just for this one. Then tuck your toes under it. Downward dog. Adjust. Remember, check your hands. Shoulder width apart, index fingers parallel, the other fingertips fan out to the side. Open up the space between the shoulders, relax the head, but keep the head no lower than your shoulders. Inner ears in line with your biceps. Pull in the ribs. You can bend your knees, send your hips back, lengthen. Uddiyana Bandha. Bend your knees. Inhale, right foot forward, left foot forward. Using Mula Bandha, this step forward will be much easier for you. Fold. Firm your legs. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. Inhaling. Exhaling. Don't stop. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to the ground. Left foot back, then right foot back. Plank. Chaturanga from your knees. Elbows bend. Straight back. Stop where you feel the challenge. Inhaling. Upward dog. If you want, you can come onto the tops of the feet. Lift Uddiyana Bandha. Jalandhara Bandha. Look forward. Exhaling. Downward dog. I always lower my knees and then flip my feet to get into downward dog. Deep breaths with sound. You can bend your knees, open the shoulders, relax the head. I am. Get into the breath. Exhale completely. Firm your hands against the ground and step forward. Left foot, then right foot. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Firming your legs, press down through the ground. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Raise your arms, Urva Hastasana. Eyes up, exhale. Inhale. One more like this. Go slow. Use what you know. Position of feet. Stability in the body. Bandhas. The breath. You can step or hop back. You can do a series of little hops or one big jump. You might want to try to lower from your toes, but only if you've mastered lowering from your knees. Inhale, Uddiyana Bandha. Exhaling, downward facing dog. I always bring my knees to the ground between upward dog and downward dog. 1, spread your fingers, press down evenly through the wrists. 2, open the shoulders. 3, relax your neck. 4, reach back through the hips, pull in the ribs. Uddiyana Bandha. 5, bend your knees. Inhale, step or hop all the way to the top of the mat. Hands on your shins. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward bend, and then full Uttanasana, bow. Relax your head, give it a shake. Bend your knees, inhaling, coming all the way up. Exhaling. If your shoulders are bothering you or your neck is bothering you, you don't have to lift your arms overhead. Here's an option. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, bend the knees. Sit like you're sitting in a chair. Feet are still parallel. Sitting back. You can take your arms forward. You can keep your hands at your heart, or you can take your arms overhead. Choose wisely. Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha here. Push through the legs. Exhale. Moving into Surya Namaskar B. Inhaling. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Let's step back. Right foot, and then left foot. Coming into plank. Lower from your knees or from your toes. Elbows into ribs. Inhale. Make sure you don't drop your shoulders lower than your elbows. Exhale. Inhale, right leg up. Stretch. And then take the right foot forward as far as it goes. Maybe it just goes here. And then you have to hop it forward and use your hand. So feet are parallel, hip width apart. Just the back heel is lifted. Front knee bends, coming up. Coming into a variation of warrior 1. This is the high lunge. Let's get the bandhas. If you have lost them, come into cactus. Spread the fingers. Pull back the elbows. Uddiyana Bandha. Jalandhara Bandha. Mahabandha. All the bandhas. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead if you can. Look up. Upward drishti. Exhale. With control, bring your hands down and we're going to step forward. Just breaking up this Surya Namaskar B into 2 parts. Inhale. Push through the legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Urdhva Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. Half forward bend. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Left foot back, then right foot back. Plank. Chaturanga from the knees or from the toes. Inhale. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Upward dog. Lower the knees, turn the toes under. Sit back, coming into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, left leg up. Stretch. And then as the foot comes forward, gather momentum and step forward as far as you can. Wiggle, wiggle until you get there. Feet parallel. Back heel lifted. Front knee bends right over the ankle. Adjust your stance. Square the hips. Mula Bandha. Uddiyana Bandha. Jalandhara Bandha. Cactus hands, spread your fingers. Gaze at tip of nose. I am. Inhale. Maybe you can take your arms up. Maybe you can slowly, keeping Jalandhara Bandha, just turn your gaze upwards. And then keeping your focus, your stability, bring your hands down. Breathe out. Breathe in, step forward. Breathe out, fold. Utkatasana. Fierce pose, bend your knees. Knees are also parallel, hip width apart. They don't splay out to the side. And pushing up, coming to standing tall. Exhale, samastiti, equal standing pose. Deep breath in and out. Again. One more. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, sit back. Inhale. Utkatasana. Exhale. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Keep your Jalandhara Bandha. Look at you at the tip of the nose. Exhale. Step or jump back, coming into plank. Chaturanga. Inhale. Ardha Urva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana. This time we'll pivot the left foot out to the side, a little half step. Take the heel out to the side a little bit. Turn your foot 45 degrees. Put all of your weight into that left foot so you can freely step the right foot as far forward as you can. This time you're in that 45-degree back foot position, front foot points straight forward. Inhale, take your arms out to the side. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Take a deep breath here. I am. Say your I am. Again. Now with control, take your arms out to the side, bring them to the ground at the exact same time. Lift your back heel, slide the front foot to meet the back foot, coming into plank. You can stay here, or you can do your chaturanga from your knees or from your toes. Upward dog, downward dog. Or in the last stretch of the sun salutation sequence, turn the toe out to the side, put all of your weight into your right foot and lunge that left foot to the left. Bend your front knee, adjust your back foot as needed. Then inhale. And you keep Jalandhara Bandha while you look up. So your hands have to come a little bit in front of you. I am. Exhaling, hands down. Slide the front foot back. Inhale. Exhale. 5 breaths, downward dog or child's pose if you'd like. Bend your knees as needed. Relax your neck. Pull in the ribs. And lift the kidneys. Bending your knees, press down through the hands. Walk, step, or jump your feet forward. Lift the heart. Exhale. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, coming up. Samastiti. Separate your feet hip width apart if they're not already there. Hands just below your hip bone at your hip crease. Lift the lower abdomen. So getting that Uddiyana Bandha. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. You can micro bend your knees and fold forward. Bend your knees a little bit more so that when you extend your arms and wrap your first 2 fingers around your big toes, palm of the hands facing inward. Shift forward so your weight is in your toes. Fold. Pull back the shoulders. Padangustasana, big toe pose. So if you pull upwards, you're going to help to decompress the wrists after all of those sun salutations. Inhale halfway up. Let's do Padahastasana, not on our essential list, but nice posture nonetheless. Bend your knees and slide your hands deeply under your feet so the back of the wrists come to the floor. Pull back with the shoulders and you'll help to decompress your wrists. Press down, press your feet into your hands and pull back with the shoulders. Give your head a shake, breathe. Ujjayi breath with sound. And slowly come out. Let's go slowly up, hands on the hips, exhale. Bend your knees, put weight in the feet, and come all the way up. Deep breath in and out. Step a quarter turn to the right and open the feet nice and wide. So we're starting in feet parallel, and then we're going to rotate open the right thigh, the right foot, and point the right foot straight out. Ground through your feet. Hands on the hip creases, draw in. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. Side bend. So you can side bend with your hands on the hips or your arms outstretched. You can bring your right hand to your right shin. Press down into the shin. Push up into the hand with the shin. So you're not locking your knee. Utthita Trikonasana. You can keep your hand here on your hip or on your lower back, or you can extend the arm upward. So here you can look at the tip of your nose, you can look at your big toe, or you can look up at your thumb. Your choice. Ujjayi breath. I am. No room for anything else. Without locking your knees, inhale, coming up. Turn your feet parallel, hands on your hips. Inhale, open the left foot out to the side. Turn, open the hip. Heel to instep or heel to heel. This is the perpendicular foot position. Make sure the knee is pointing straight forward along with the toes. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. Growing tall and stable through the torso as you fold forward. Bring your left hand to your shin. Make sure this knee is unlocked and the energy is flowing all the way up the leg, into the hip, through the back, and then out the right arm. Stare out to the side, looking at the tip of the nose. Look down at the big toe or look up at the hand. Try to do what you did on the first side. Ujjayi breath. Stable legs. Micro bend the knees. Inhale, come up with control. Exhaling. Inhale. Exhale, hop your feet together. Hop your feet apart, this time a bit wider. So stance wider than it was for tree pose. Then turn the right foot out to the side and bend your front knee. Let's start with warrior two. So Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha especially. Oftentimes that Uddiyana Bandha wants to tip out. I know I'm facing away from you, just trust me. Lifting the chest. Jalandhara Bandha, extend the arms parallel to the ground, then turn your gaze. Here your gaze in the middle finger of your extended arm. Shoulders down. Ooh, breathe deeply. Is your front knee right over the ankle of the front foot? Should not tip to the inside. Bandhas. Inhale. Exhale, extend out to the right and bring the right elbow across your thigh bone. Take the left arm alongside your ear if possible and look down that left side of your body. Straight diagonal line from the heel of the left foot out through the fingertips. This is the weird dristi where you look through the head, backwards and up, out the crown of the head to the fingertips. Shoulder moves away from the left ear. Bandhas. Breath. Inhale. Coming up. Oh, switch your feet. That was a long one on that side. Bend your front knee. Pace yourself with your breath. Hips square. Lift that left hip off the left thigh. Let's come into warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2. Extend the arms. Focus on the tip of the middle finger. Keep that left knee in line with the ankle. Doesn't want to tilt in. Eyes focus on the middle finger of your left hand. Bandhas. Breath. Should be breath and then bandhas. Exhaling. Side bend. Forearm rests on your left thigh bone. Palm of the left hand turns up. Right arm extends alongside your ear. Check. Look down the right side of the body. Make sure it's a nice diagonal line. Extend out through the fingertips. Draw. Come into your Jalandhara Bandha to release the back of the neck. And then look through your skull at the fingertips. I know it seems very weird. Feet are in that perpendicular foot position. Breath. Deeper. Bandhas. Keeping stability. Inhale, come up. Exhale, rotate your feet around. You can heel toe to the center, or you can hop your feet together, shake out your arms. Turn to the top of your mat just for a moment. And if your mat moved around like mine, you can realign it. And I'm going to face you for the next sequence because it'll be a bit easier. Feet parallel. Nice and wide. Hands on the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Breath. Ujjayi breath. Alignment of the feet. Lifting both the inner and outer arch. Spread your toes and then place them on the ground. Pelvic floor lift. Bandhas, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. Fold forward. Place your hands. Bow your head. The weight centered across both feet. Inhale. You can't reach the floor, no problem. Bring your hands to your shins. Or place your hands on blocks. Inhale, come onto your fingertips. Exhale. If your hands are on the floor, they're in the same hand position as every other pose. Hands shoulder width apart, index fingers parallel, etc. Relax your head. Jalandhara Bandha to help release the neck further. Dristi is tip of the nose or the navel, unless it really contorts your position. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, bend your knees, bring your hands to your hips and come all the way up to standing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let's take the arms out to the side one more time. This time we'll interlace the fingers behind your back. So like so. So your feet are in the same position, parallel, lifting arches on the inside and the outside of the feet. Inhaling and exhale. Use the bandha, especially Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha, to help you fold forward. Jalandhara Bandha, and then take your arms up and over your head. Breathe. Breath, Ujjayi breath with sound. I am. Bend your knees. Inhale, coming up. In case you're wondering, we're still using the I am of the bridge. Inhale. Exhale, step or jump your feet together. Let's go to the top of the mat just for a moment. Release the ankles. Feet hip width apart. Looking forward, and slide your left foot back on the 45-degree angle. So 45-degree foot position in the back, right foot forward, left foot back. Stance kind of short, shorter than in warrior. Turn the hips. Pyramid pose, also known as Parsvottanasana. You can hold the elbows in the back. Just remember, be mindful of which arm is in front and which arm is behind. You can press your fists together like so, or you can bring your hands in prayer. So if you bring your hands in prayer, it's like this, or like this, but it's like this in many pictures. So what often happens is that the ribs poke forward and you lose your Uddiyana Bandha here. So let's get established through the feet. So alignment is correct, especially the knees. The knees are unlocked, so you're not building tension through your structure unnecessarily. Pelvic floor lift, Uddiyana Bandha, which will help fill out your back. Jalandhara Bandha. Now fold forward halfway, and you're folding on the inside line of the foot. Halfway. You can micro bend your front knee. And just restabilize. Use your arms to be aware of the position of your back. If you feel one side of the spine lifting, then just correct. And only when you're stable will you go forward. There's a lot of pressure in the front leg. Make sure you're not locking the knee. Are you lifting your arches? Are your toes really tense? Inhaling, slowly come up. Whew. And let's step forward. You can give your arms a little reprieve. Samastiti, deep breath in. I am. Shift your weight into your left foot. Slide the right foot back 45 degrees. Still right foot on the right foot on the right side, left foot on the left side. So your heel would be in line with the right hip in the back, and the left heel would be in line with the left hip bone. You're gonna square your hips, make sure the knees are unlocked. You got your arches in place. At least you're aware of them. So the structure is stable. Then let's lift pelvic floor, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. If you held your arms crossed, switch so the opposite arm is in front, or do exactly the same thing on the other side if you press the fists together or did prayer hands. Uddiyana Bandha to puff out the mid back. Jalandhara Bandha. Lengthen through the back line of the body. One side is going to be really much easier, possibly much easier for you than the other. This side is way easier for me for some reason. Inside line of the leg. Course correct to make sure that your spine, your rib cage is square to the front, square to the mat. You don't have to go super low. Keep the bandha. Drishti is tip of nose or the knee. Exhale completely. Press down through the feet. You can micro bend your knees to help push you up slowly and stably. With stability, release the arms. Step forward. You're doing amazing. Come into the I am. Whether you think you can complete the practice or whether you can't, or you think you can't, you are correct. Whatever you decide, I believe you can keep going. Just a couple more standing postures, easy ones. So we're going to do, I'm going to turn to face you. You can turn any direction you'd like. So here, the best thing is to focus a drishti in front of you. So you can focus on a spot on the wall, ideally at eye level, or a spot on the floor, but way out in front of you so that you're not dropping your energy too quickly. So if you look at the floor down right in front of you, it's not good. You want to stay level. You're going to do a little step forward with your left foot. So you transfer the weight, not just into the left foot, but into the left side of the body. And you're going to pick up the right knee. Right hand on your hip. If you normally practice holding the big toe, you can hold the big toe with your knee bent or your leg extended, your choice. Whatever you normally practice or whatever you feel up for today. Remember, just because you can do it doesn't mean you have to. Stability through the body, length through the back of the neck, drishti. And then we'll slowly take the leg out to the side and we're going to change the drishti. I know that's hard halfway through. You're going to look over your left shoulder. Parsva drishti, side drishti, or twist drishti. Maintaining stability, come to the center, do a little bow over the leg, ooh, coming up, and then just slowly release the foot down. Let's do a half step forward with your right into your right side, transferring into the right side of the body, getting aligned with the foot, aligned with the joint, stable. So reinforce that structure through the arch of the foot, knee unlocked, hip stable. Bring up the knee. Drishti in front of you, eye level. Right hand on your hip. Breath. Alignment. Structure. Bandhas. Drishti, focus, centeredness. Sweet spot. Sweet spot is when you connect with your I am. Maintaining stability, take your leg out to the side or your knee out to the side. Look over your right shoulder. The sweet spot is the I am. Slowly come back to center. Bow over the leg just a little bit. Release the foot and bring it down. Shake it out. Last standing pose. You're doing amazing. Shift into the left foot. Where are you holding tension in the body? Let it go. Let it go. Bring your right foot up to your inner shin or your inner thigh. Tree pose. Vrkshasana. If you feel tension in your hip, bring your foot down. I feel a little tension, so I'll bring my foot down. Let's start with the hands at the heart. Let's keep the hands here for today. Let's say you want a greater challenge. New moon gaze, close your eyes. Breathe. And then slowly release, step into the right side, transfer your weight immediately. Bring up your left foot, inner shin or inner thigh or wherever it was on the first side. Stay contained in the center. Find that center midline point and hug it. Once your breath is going, once you feel stable, close your eyes. Or try. Great, amazing. Step down. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold forward. Shake out your head. Separate your feet a bit wider, like shoulder width apart, and turn your feet into V. Come into Malasana. If you can't quite sit down in Malasana, you can prop some blocks up into your hip, up underneath you, like so. Could be 2 blocks, one on top of each other, or 1 block on the higher side, 1 block on the lower side. Come into your Malasana. In fact, I think I want all of you to support yourself in Malasana here. Can you do that? Can you get your blocks? We're going to stop here for a second and we're going to do a breathing exercise. We're going to do Kapalbhati. So if you are menstruating, you will either do this very, very lightly or you will skip it and just do deep breathing while we're doing Kapalbhati. So Kapalbhati is the in and out, in and out, in and out. Out, passive in, out, passive in, out, passive in. So we're going to do it in Gan Mudra, where you bring your thumb and index finger together. And the mudra is a hand posture. So it's an actual asana for your fingers. So this is index finger and thumb touches, but the other fingers are not doing whatever. They're together and they're extended. So you're going to do Gan Mudra like this. You're going to exhale, Jalandhara Bandha. So just watch for a moment. Exhale. Full breath in, full breath out, half breath in, and it's going to be like this. So it's really nice. This posture is really great for getting into that position. So out, passive in, out, passive in. So you just focus on the exhalation, and the releasing of the exhalation will create a vacuum effect for the inhalation. You don't even have to think about it. All right. So we're going to start with about 20. Okay. So deep breath in, deep breath out. Half breath in, and begin slow. Deep breath in and out. If you want to relax your arms, you can. I'm going to do it again. This time we're going to do 30. You can do less if you want. Okay, so opening up, shoulders relaxed, deep breath in and out. Half breath in and begin. Take a deep breath in and out. Maybe you want to fold forward. This gives you a nice stretch down the back of your neck, upper back as well, so you can relax your head. And then pull back your hands, Get some weight into your legs and come back up. Let's move the blocks out to the side and step back into downward dog. Pause here for a moment. And then when you're ready, you'll walk forward, seated position. Let's do Dandasana. So you might need to sit up on something. So we're going into seated postures. We're going to do them tranquilo, nice and slow. Come back into your I am. Bring your hands beside you. Roll back your shoulders. Feet are hip width apart, toes pointing straight up, heels pressing down. Legs engaged slightly. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. Gaze at tip of the nose. I am. Bring your drishti to your big toes. Now turn your hands away from you so your fingertips are facing the back of the mat. You're up on your fingertips and use your fingertips to help you push yourself forward slightly. Open up the space between the sitting bones. You're welcome to stay here. You're rolling on the front of your sitting bones now. Reach, inch your heels forward. Maybe you're going to hold the outside of the shins. If you're holding the outside of the shins, this is Paschimottanasana. You can push inwards with your hands and outwards with your shins. So this is normally held for 15 breaths, and every 5 breaths you go a little deeper into the pose. So the idea is that you don't pop into the deepest, stretchiest place. And then slowly come up. Slowly come up. Let's lean back on the elbows. Actually, you have a choice. You can either do Parsvottanasana. So you lift up. We can start on the feet. So this version, your fingers can turn out to the side or face inward, face forward in that index fingers parallel position. So you scoop up, or you can do fish pose on your elbows with your bum on the floor. So you're gonna really hold the bandhas here, especially Jalandhara Bandha. Gaze at tip of nose. Gaze at tip of nose. Take your head back, all the way back or not back at all. Stay here or extend your legs. And if you prefer, you can do fish pose, Matsyasana, with your bum on the ground, elbows on the ground. Either way, opening the chest, breathe. Gaze at tip of nose. And let your chest fall so that you have support to bring your head forward. And then either lower your bum down or push yourself up. Pause. You can do a vinyasa or you can just sit here and breathe deeply. in cross-legged position. If you're doing a vinyasa, you cross your feet and ankles, pull your feet back towards your bum, place your hands shoulder width apart, index fingers parallel in front of you, lift your hips, step back, lower from your knees or from your toes, come down, inhale cobra or upward dog, exhaling child's pose, downward dog, and then step or jump to a seated position, coming cross-legged first and then sliding your feet forward. All right, let's do Utthita Trikonasana. So extending the left leg, I'm going to fold the right heel into the groin like so. So I'm going to face you. So left leg is extended, and I'm going to close the gap between the foot, my knee, and the floor, either with a block or whatever is handy. This ball works really well for me. Stabilize your hips, a little twist, stretch forward with the right foot, the right hand, stretch forward with the left hand, and you fold. You don't have to fold very far. Ideally, the hips are turned. So you can, depending on how far forward you are, you could either stare at the tip of the nose or at the big toe. So if you're up here, staring at the big toe makes sense. But if you're down here, staring at the big toe would cause you to do this, which is not awesome for your neck. Inhaling, coming up. We're going to bring the feet into boat. Shoulders back. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Uddiyana Bandha helps to distribute the effort in the core. Cross your feet and ankles. If you're having trouble picking yourself up, take your block, one on either side of the hip, at this height. Push down through the arms and lift your bum. Then if you feel up to it, you can practice lifting your feet. So you use your blocks to help give you a little boost. Right leg bends now, left heel folds towards the sitting bone and then opens to the side. Hips stay square to the front. Support the left knee as needed. Inhaling and exhaling. Janu Shirshasana A. There are 3. We'll probably examine the other 2 Janu Shirshasana postures later in our program, but they're not essential. Let your breath guide you into the posture, one at a time. I am. Watch the Jalandhara Bandha here. Inhaling, coming up. Let's just sit now. Option to do vinyasa or just sit. Inhaling, opening your eyes. Let's do Marichi Asana. So I'm going to sit on a block for this. So if you are having a little bit of trouble with these postures, I would recommend from the block. Actually, I will turn sideways. Let's see. Just be careful that because you're on a block, you might have more tendency to lock the left knee. So sometimes I place something just under the left knee, like a rolled towel, or in this case, I'm using my ball, just so that I don't put extra pressure there. So the right foot is away from the thigh. So the right foot is in line with the outside of the hip here, front legs pointing straight forward, and your feet are in parallel foot position. Actually, you could even turn your right foot out to the side just a little bit into a 45 degree to help open up that hip. So you're going to stretch forward with your right arm And you can try to wrap your arm around like this. You can hold a belt or you can reach for your hand. And if that is not in the realm of possibilities for you today, hold your right knee with your right hand and your left hand will just be beside you. And you'll tilt forward like so. If the idea is really just to compress the right side, so you want to pull the right knee, the right thigh, sorry, towards your torso so that you get a bit of a compression into the liver. And then you fold forward. Gaze at the tip of the nose or the big toe, depending on how far forward you are. If you use Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha, you will have much more of an up and over experience. And just watch that your head doesn't hang down when you lose your Jalandhara Bandha. Inhaling, come up. So you will just keep the posture, the legs as is, and you can either do an open twist, so you would twist to the left first, like this, or the closed twist, which is the normal way of Mrityasana C, is to sweep the belly flesh over to the right hand behind you, and left arm hugs the right knee. I think I'm going to do an open twist so I can see you. Well, not that I can really see you, but I can stay connected with you. Let the twist evolve one breath at a time. And back to center. Whew. Stretch out your legs. Come down. Let's do boat. And then we can cross feet and ankles and pick ourselves up. So place your blocks on either side of you at the height you need. Sometimes you need this, but it's just not as stable as this one. And lift yourself up, even if it's just your bum. Come down. And then we'll set ourselves up for Mrityasana A and C on the other side. So now your right leg is extended. You'll support the knee as needed. The foot pulls back. You're going to sit up tall. So once you're stable, feet are parallel. Make sure there's a gap between the foot and the thigh. As I said, you can kind of cheat a little bit by turning this foot out to the side, which helps to open up your hip a little bit more. And it's a cheat, but it's not really a cheat. So again, you can work on stretching forward, wrapping the arm around, maybe clasping the hands or using a belt or a towel. If that is not available for you, do what you did on the first side. So hold the knee. If the first side was easier than this side, just make an effort to do what you did on the first side. Inhale, let's get the Mula Bandha in there. Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. Gaze at tip of the toe if you're upward. And if you're forward bend, you can either look at the knee or the tip of the nose. And inhaling, slowly come up. Ooh, releasing. They do a twist, so you'll either twist towards your left knee or away from the left knee towards the right. Open twist or closed twist. Do what you did on the first side. Keep your legs stable. This is Parsvadristi, just out to the side. I am. Back to center. Release. Here you can either do this seated cross-legged pose for a few breaths, or you can do a vinyasa. Come forward into a seated position. Let's do Baddha Konasana. So Baddha Konasana here, feet together, knees apart. Sit up on something if you need to. Let's clasp the big toes, but the mound of the big toes touch each other. Inhaling. Bandhas. Then lifting from the pelvic floor. From Uddiyana Bandha, fold forward and make sure that your chin isn't sticking out like a turtle. Keep that Jalandhara Bandha. Press the elbows into the inner thighs and push out to the side to help open up the hips. And inhaling, come up, press the feet together. Release. Let's do boat pose. Last one. Maybe you're going to push it a little bit. Maybe you're going to do a little bit of a fuller boat pose. Maintain the Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha actions. You're on the area between the sitting bones and the tailbone, not on the tailbone. And cross-feeted ankles. See what you can lift off the ground and lower. Now we'll do Upavista Konasana, wide-legged forward bend. So here, I always give myself a little lift so I can come right up on the sitting bones. Feet, remember, it's a 90-degree angle. No more. It could be less, but no more than 90 degrees. Feet are pointing straight up. Like we did in Paschimottanasana, you can fold forward using the help of your arms, shoulders back. Or you can come forward holding onto the outside of the shins. You push the hands into the outside of the shins into the hands. The knees and the toes point straight up. So there's a lot of activity happening in the legs to protect your adductor muscles. So your inner thigh muscles. If you can reach, hold your big toe. Shoulders back. Upavista Konasana is not on the essential list, but it kind of should be. And then inhaling, slowly come up. Cross your legs. You can do vinyasa or you can just sit. I might sit now. I am. So we're moving into finishing postures, and the segue, we're going to do the hamstring stretches here. So get yourself a belt if you don't have one. Open belt, no fancy ties. No fancy ties. So have it nearby. And I think it's nice to have a little pillow for under the head, so you can take your blanket and just fold it as if it's a pillow. I think I might just check to see if there's any questions before we get down there. No, we're gonna have a breakfast break. I don't know when you asked me the question about the breakfast, but we'll have a breakfast break after the practice and before the next segment. Just get yourself in position. Okay, sorry, I just got a message from our next presenter. Okay, so you're gonna loop the belt over the right heel. You can keep your left knee bent. Stretch out your leg or keep it bent. So remember, this is the way we hold the strap around so the strap is around the heel. I'm gonna stretch up, reach to the heel, keep the hip pressing down. And then holding the straps in the right hand, you're going to turn the foot out to the side. And you're going to take the foot in a 45-degree angle to the side, not directly 90 degrees, but towards between the shoulder and the hip. Then you can pick up the foot like so. You're just going to hold for a few short breaths. Back to center. So we won't do the full sequence here. You're going to stretch out the left leg and just lift the head. And then release. Pause. And we'll do the other side when you're ready. So looping the belt over the arch, the heel of that left foot, not over the arch. Excuse me. Holding one strap in each hand, stretch up. I like to lift my head and then place it down just so I can get into it. Legs are straight. Even the right leg is active. Half moon gaze, so eyes half closed. And stare at the nose or the knee. Or you can look at the toe. In which case you'd have a full moon gaze, so eyes wide open. Next, you're going to stretch your left arm, and wrap the belt around the hand. Arm is straight. Turn the toe out to the side to rotate the leg, the thigh. Bend your knee. Catch the ankle. Push through the heel. I am. Back to center. Extend the leg, lift, and release. Move the pillow. So your head and your ponytail. So your head is on the ground. So we're in the home run stretch, folks. Focus on your breath. You're going to get there. Feet hip width apart. We're going to start with the bridge. So elbows pressing down against your body. Peel your back off the ground. Let's go up and down one vertebrae at a time. Keep your feet stable directly under your knees. Peel the back off the ground. Up and down. Up. This time stay up. Interlace your fingers. Come on the upper arm bones. Press your feet into the ground. See if you can release your tailbone just a little bit. And then reach it forward between the knees. Can you keep the bandhas here? And I also like to see if the ribs are even. Now, in my case, they're not really because I have scoliosis. But I try to work on that evenness and the height of the ribs. If your chest doesn't get in the way. Release, come down. Let's work on the progressions of the back bend of the wheel. If you would like to sit up and watch them, you can, and then you can try them for number 3, back bend. If you already know them, then you can follow along. So first you would, and you don't have to go very far. There are many steps. So, and I don't know how far I'm gonna get today, but we'll see. So hands beside your ears, fingertips pointing forward. Your hands are shoulder width apart in the same position as they are for downward dog. They're just beside your ears. So fingertips are pointing towards your heels. Then you lift and you could stay here. Press the shoulders down. Jalandhara Bandha. You can stay here for 5 breaths. Or you might be able to rock some weight into your legs, press on the hands and come onto the crown of the head. And you might stay here for 5 breaths. Or you might press all the way up. When you're ready to come down, chin to chest, and come down super slowly on your shoulders first. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It matters how it feels, right? So we'll do one more in your own time. You can choose whichever variation you'd like. I'll see if me and the baby can try that again. Go with your I am. Your I am will guide you into the right variation for you today. And remember, you can stop at any of the steps along the way. When you're done, knees into your chest, rock side to side. And then roll to the right. You might want to do a little twist. And to the left. And then roll to your right side to come up. And just come into a child's pose for a moment. You can rest your head on the block. And then coming up slowly. How do you feel? So I said I was going to focus on shoulder stand, and I just want to give you a little tutorial on shoulder stand because I know some of you are still practicing shoulder stand, and that's fine, but I just want you to practice it safely. So as we've seen with the spinal column, the vertebrae at the base of the spine are much more stable and much bigger, maybe not this big, but they're much bigger than the ones in the neck. Unfortunately, most people do shoulder stand not on their shoulders, but on their cervical spine. And this is extremely dangerous. So what I would like you to do right now is to stop what you're doing and watch me set ourselves up for a safe shoulder stand. Now, you do not have to do shoulder stand at all, but I want you to know how to do it safely today so that if you want to practice it today, you can. If you don't, then you later on, you could have some options on how to play around with it. So first of all, you need 1 or 2 blankets so that you can support yourself up. And I'm getting a note, a sound in my earbuds saying that I'm gonna lose, their battery is dying. So I'm gonna try to move quickly through this so that you can continue to hear me. So 1 or 2 blankets. I'm gonna just start with 1. 2 blankets are better for people who have more stiffness in their back. I do find that sometimes the 2 blankets do cause a little bit of it sort of destabilizes a little bit because it's more squishy. So that's why I'm going to start with 1. You can decide. So what I'm going to do is I put the blanket sort of in the back end of the mat, but there is still a little bit of mat there. And I'm going to fold the mat over about 2/3 over the blanket, like so. So if you want to follow along, you can do the exact same thing. I turn the fringe. My blanket has a fringe, so I turn that inside. So I have a clean line at the top. So I'm like, so this is what I'm creating. Not all the way over. I still have some blanket. And the reason being is that this will allow my shoulders to slide, but the mat will allow will keep my elbows fixed. So my elbows don't slide. So the most important thing is to keep your head straight. So if you turn your head, then you're really destabilizing the posture. So it doesn't matter who walks in the door or what I say. I want you to, when you're in the posture, I don't want you to look at the screen. And I don't want you to look anywhere else but straight. Okay, so now do all the looking. Watch me, don't do. And then I'll stop and then you can do. Okay, so you'd lie on your back. You're not going to do it now, but you're going to just watch me. So I have about this much, so maybe 2 inches between my shoulder and the edge of the blanket. And that is on purpose because when I push up, the chances are I'm going to go slide backwards a little bit. So I don't want to slide off the blanket. So my head is on the ground, my shoulders are on the blanket part, and my elbows will be on the sticky part. Now, if you're one of these people that can't get up, you would turn, bring the whole thing to facing the wall, and you would walk your feet up the wall to help get your bum up off the ground. So if you can rock up, you would press down. Don't do it now. I'm telling you, don't do it. Just watch me. I will lead you through it again. Press down through the elbows, and you can rock up, catch your buttocks, and you would walk your hands up and your shoulders in. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. So your shoulders come in. And my fingertips are pointing upward, not like this, upward. And I'm going to bring my feet over my hips and not over my head. If I bring my feet over my head, can you see how my throat is collapsing? And now I'm in my cervical spine and I don't have very much airway and my voice is affected. But if I bring my feet back, I can open up like so. So I'm going to keep my eyes fixed on my big toes. No matter what happens, no matter who walks in the door, no matter what sound is around me, I am not going to turn my head. And there is a gap between my head, between my skull and the shoulders. So no vertebrae is actually touching the floor here. I'm pressing down strong through my elbows, strong through my shoulders. To come down, I'm going to bend my knees and slowly roll out. Roll to the side and then come up. So you can, if you're menstruating, maybe today is not the day to do this, in which case you can do Supta Baddha Konasana. So get set up for a reclined butterfly pose, like so, with your blocks under your knees like this, okay? If you want to try the shoulder stand, set yourself up exactly the way I showed you. If you know it's hard for you to get your feet and your bum off the ground, then turn this towards the wall, like so. So it's pretty close to the wall, but not that close.
like not necessarily touching. Lie on your back with your head on the ground or on the mat, the shoulders on the blanket, and your elbows on the sticky part. Remember that just touch your shoulders to see if you have a clearance of about 2 inches between the shoulder and the blanket. So that when you walk your legs up the wall, you're not gonna push yourself off the blanket, okay? And you can keep your legs on the wall. You can keep your feet on the floor, and again, place the back of the palm of the hands on your lower back, fingers pointing upwards towards your buttocks. So again, I'm not gonna do it because I don't want you to look at the screen. I just want you to go slowly. And once you're up, you can stay there for, let's do 8 to 10 breaths. Remember, walk your shoulder blades in. Soften your gaze. Gaze is at the big toes. You can put a little pressure on the back of the head so you lift the cervical spine away from the ground, away from the blanket. Can you breathe? Couple more breaths. And then slowly bring your knees down and really gently release your arms and slowly roll down. Pause for a moment in like a Shavasana E position. Then roll to the side and come up to sitting. We will end today's practice with a nice Shavasana. So you can set yourself up. And after Shavasana, we will take a break and you can have something to eat. Some of you may have noticed that you may not even be hungry or thinking about food because of all the prana in your body. And the fact that I just mentioned it maybe makes you start to think about it. So for your Shavasana or relaxation pleasure today, you can do Supta Baddha Konasana. You can do a nice Shavasana all covered, like do all the things necessarily when do a nice long Shavasana. So you can place something under your legs, something under your head. You can cover yourself like with a blanket. If you have socks, put on socks. If you have an eye pillow, use the eye pillow. Do all the things. Do all the things because you had a long practice and you deserve a long Shavasana. So I'm going to set a timer here. I'm going to do about 10 minutes. So take the time you need to get set up. Take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Deep breath in, slow breath out. If your hands are touching blocks or straps, just push those things out of the way so your hands only touch the floor and your clothing and whatever you are being supported by. Breathing in, exhale with a ha. Ah. Now come to the last I am and repeat it gently to yourself as you drift into your relaxation. Not the bridge I am, but the final I am. And then let the last word echo in your body, taking you into relaxation until it disappears, until you disappear, until you become everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Let go of the bandhas, let go of any breath work, just breathe normally, be normal. I am peaceful, 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 peaceful.
Slowly taking your time to stretch through your toes, through your hands. You can take your arms overhead. You can turn your head side to side. Then hug your knees into your chest. Roll to the right side. Stay there for as long as you need to, and then come up to sitting. So we will take a break now, and we'll come back in 20 minutes. So come back just around 11:20 or a little bit before, okay? And if you have questions about the practice or about the poses or about the pranayama or about shavasana or anything, any of the above, you can type them into the chat during the break and I'll take a look at them. So we have a guest coming at 11, just around 11:20. So be back here. You can be finishing your snack. It's okay. It's more of a lecture, so not much physical stuff we need to do. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for your practice today. Namaste. See you soon.